Yo, what's going on, guys? Arekkz here. Welcome back to another video for Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, and today we're back with another discussion, which of course means I'm joined by 269 and Paradise Central. How you guys doing?
Hello. Good to be back.
It is good to have you guys get back because, of course, yesterday they kicked off the weapon showcase, showing off some of the new stuff, the new Siltby moves, switch skill swap, all that cool stuff. Of course, they started with the greatest weapon of all time, Sword and Shield. We also got a look at the Heavy Bowgun and the Switch Axe. So today we thought we'd speak about those ones they've shown so far. And then, of course, we will continue to do this as they release more weapon videos. So let us know in the comments down below which ones you guys have enjoyed the most. Let us know what you're hoping to see next. And, of course, don't forget to keep it locked for plenty more Sunbreak stuff. But, guys, the weapon videos. Where do we want to start? Do you want to start with Sword and Shield?
You want to start with the greatest weapon of all time, Sword and Shield, apparently.
Let's start with the greatest weapon of all time. So any of you guys missed it, of course, there were two things. So like primarily these videos are structured in a way whereby they show off like a new Siltby move and then also a new like switch skill. So some of these are like the more flashy moves, some of them are more like the combo things you do. So of course, I mean, listen, right? Oils in Generations were the greatest thing for Sword and Shield, and they're not back in the same sense, but the fact they have got a specific Siltby move called Destroyer Oil, which is basically covers your wire bug and it makes the monster flinch more. What?
This is like cool. #1 on your wish list. You were talking about wanting like oils back, and you got your wish.
I mean, Capcom just listened to me. I'm sorry, right? But like, I mean, the comments are gonna hate me for this. But I'm gonna be like, hey, listen, right? They're just watching my video, making these things done. So they'll be like, stop asking for these things, then. But no, anyway, yeah, it's cool. It's cool. It's really cool. And especially one of the things they showed in the video is the ability to then like, you know, because you got switch skill swap, you could apply this and then you swap, and it's still applied to your weapon. So you really can stack these things for some meaty combos.
I mean, that is mad because you're just literally giving yourself a buff and then swapping back to your like primary switch skill, so that's pretty. I think that's really cool. To be fair, I will say though, I mean, I'm out here feeling kind of bad for the hammer bros out there. You know, Sword and Shield's getting like more flinching, getting more combos, more hits. Where's the love for the hammer bros?
We haven't seen the hammer skills though. Like we have to wait. We have to see. But this is like really good. Like I know that with oils, everybody was kind of really waiting for them to come back. And one of the things that I'm thinking about that might be really cool is in base Rise. Did I say world? In base Rise, they had like these weapons that could augment some of the abilities on the weapons or add different capabilities. So maybe some of the other oils that you had in like GU might come back in the form of like weapon skills on the actual weapons. So that might be exciting.
I would love that. That would be so cool. So you're saying like if you apply like Destroyer Oil but on a specific weapon, it turns Destroyer Oil into like something Affinity else. Oil or something. That would be nuts. I hope that happens. But will you guys dabble in the Sword and Shield ways now that it sounds like
I don't think so, to be honest.
You mean you want to leave the greatest weapon of all time off the table?
Sword and Shield is a really cool weapon, and I like the aspect of it kind of being like that traditional weapon that you would use. But since you bang on about it so much, like, you know when your friend just bangs on about a weapon so much it makes you just not want to use it? That is Sword and Shield for me. So I want to use it because it looks so cool, but Arekkz is like championing it a bit too much. He's like evangelizing so much about this weapon that it's putting me off, basically.
So in order to get you guys to use it, I have to be like, I don't like Sword and Shield anymore. It's not mine. But they also showed off another one, which is the twin blade combo. So this was more of they describe this as a switch skill, which obviously like alters your combo. So you have your bog standard, regular Sword and Shield, bread and butter combo, which, you know, you always use for damage and stuff. And they're swapping this basically for a two-part attack that has like this circular slash, follows up with a blade thrust. They describe it specifically, given the fact that it's got multiple hits, being more ideal for elemental and status properties. Now, of course, in Rise we had things like drill thrust, which also was supposed to do the same thing, but a lot of the time people kind of still didn't necessarily lean into it. So I really want to see this in testing to work out whether like that actually is valuable, or whether it's more just like, you know. I mean, I wasn't like, from the gameplay, I wasn't like, oh, I'm definitely swapping to this, but obviously I haven't played with it yet, so I can't tell.
It might look lackluster, but it really depends on what the motion values of the actual move are and how it kind of really fits into combos, because if it's more of a quicker, higher damaging, more efficient move, then it might be something that you're going to be using all the time, while on the paper, in the video, it doesn't look that exciting. This might be the move that gets you your damage and your elemental ticks like across the board. So stuff like this that doesn't look super exciting, but dramatically changes the way that you play. So yeah.
Yeah,
could be meta. Could be
Yeah,
trash.
I hope it's cool because like I like the ones where they do also just change the regular combo flow because it's cool to have like Siltbind moves, but obviously use those like when you've got the charges. But things that actually like influence your bread and butter core combos. We've known the Sword and Shield combo for such a long time. Like if it was to mix it up and stuff, it'd be kind of cool. So I'm open to that. Looking hella cool.
We got to move on to the next one now.
We got to move on to
what I'm most excited for, please.
Is that Switch Axe?
Okay, of course it is.
Cool. I figured as much. But I do know you dabble in the bowgun ways. But yeah, Switch Axe. Take it away, Paradise. Tell us about this one.
Well, I'm going to jump straight into the most exciting part, which is the Siltbind Elemental Burst counter. Which, to be honest, like the one thing the Switch Axe really felt like would have taken it to the next level as a weapon is to give it a counter skill. Which, we can argue whether or not it should have got a counter skill, but the fact that it has, at least we'll get one now, is so cool and exciting, and it looks really cool just to do it and execute it, and the way that they sort of flowed it into like I think it was like a super no, that's what do you call it when you latch on? I can't remember. Zero sum discharge.
That's the
one. It looked like it flowed well. It looked like the timing was somewhat generous as well, as is with the other Siltbind counters, like the Dual Blades one, for example. So I'm just really excited for it. But basically, you compress the switch gauge energy that can be released as an elemental burst, and if the burst is released right as the monster attacks you, which again, I think it looked like it was fairly generous, you'll perform a power finisher and your Switch Axe will go into the amped state, which is...
That's really cool.
I love that so much. You can basically engage the fight, straight away counter the first attack, you're immediately in amped state and you can go for damage. I just...
Yeah,
for me, that's exactly what I wanted.
Yeah, given that like in Rise, like depending on of course the setup you use, like building up to amp state can take like it's not difficult, but it can take like a little bit longer sometimes. So having, as you say, it's almost like the longsword when I can't remember the moves off the top of my head, but like you pull off something quickly and you like already build like meter. Like you've basically got like an equivalent of that, right? Which is very, very. I do like the skill component though. I like the fact that it's not just go into counter stance, get hit. Like you have to let go of it as the monster's attacking you. So you're definitely gonna have to get the timing. But as you said, it looks quite generous. But we'll see in timing.
Do that because, like, if you think about it, right? What about if you did this? You get a little bomb in your pocket and you drop it on the floor.
Yes.
Just like the longsword like trick, and you
now
can go
we're
into,
talking.
Go into it.
You could do that on Sword and Shield as well, right?
Yeah. That's true. The bomb sword, the bomb axe, switch bomb axe tech. Yeah, that's gonna be cool.
I'm excited to try that now, actually. I might have to, like, bring those... Because it's like the little bombs that you bring, right?
Yeah.
That automatically pop. Yeah, I might have to actually use those in my item set now.
Yeah, that'd be... Ooh, yeah, that's going to be super cool. But, of course, there was also the other one. There was the two-staged morph/combo. I feel like they're just listing off, like, Street Fighter moves right now. They're like, elemental burst counter, two-stage morph. Hyper, exactly. Like, don't forget to do your quarter circle input to pull off the two-stage morph/combo. But, yeah, this one, like, obviously, these ones, again, I feel like it's always harder to kind of like fully gauge these ones until you actually play, because these ones are more like combo alterations. But yeah, you have this sort of two-stage morph attack which starts from Wild Swing, and then of course you go from sword mode and then back into axe mode. But the interesting thing is that you get the power of sword mode.
I'm glad to hear it.
Oh, thanks. My watch just spoke to me. You have the power of sword mode, which increases your axe mode attacks, but then the axe mode also finishes and fills the gauge, which is kind of cool. So you kind of got this like nice... I like any of these moves basically that promote the switching feature, because like obviously, you think back to like World, where it's basically just like live in sword mode apart from when you need to recharge. So
those are the days.
Exactly. It's like, is it a switch axe? No, it's just a sword.
Well, I will say, so it starts in Wild Swing axe mode, morphs into sword mode, morphs back into axe mode with like a sort of spin chop looking attack, and like you said, you get the sword mode attack to increase, like the sword mode attack and the axe mode attack within the combo both increase a different gauge, which is very, very cool. It does depend how it plays, but I have very high hopes for this combo because, like you say, it focuses on using both the sword and the axe mode. We can already like. It's different play styles if you want to lean into sword or axe mode. Like you can really play switch axe quite broadly, like depending on how like what your goal is. So I have really high hopes for this move, but it will depend on how it plays.
2-6, what about you? Any thoughts on switch axe?
Not really. I'm always trying to go into like really playing switch axe and get into it like after a while, but every time I pick it up, it's not really it doesn't jam with me, even though I really like the weapon. But now that they've added counter, it's definitely one of the things that I really wanted them to add to that switch axe. So it would be nice to see how it actually plays out. But yeah, I can't say I'm like super excited for it compared to some of the other weapons and like the oil changes on the SNS, but it's still a really good addition across the board for what they've added and what they've done to the Switch X.
Yeah, definitely. And they did show one more thing at the end of that video. Like, even though it wasn't like a new skill as such, they were just showing the other things you could swap around, because obviously you had the condensed element discharge before, which is the one that most people don't use because it sends your teammates flying. But the fact that you can now go from full scale the full scale elemental discharge into the condensed one, you kind of have like a double finisher, which is just like, I mean, it's full on anime mode, right?
It's very cool. I worry because if they've given me the capability to switch between them both, I'm going to have to use them both. And if I'm hunting with you guys, you know, and that thing knocks you back, it's not my fault.
True.
The game's making me do it.
Full burst.
It's got to be done. It's got to be done. But let's talk about heavy bowgun, because you know what, right? You guys know historically, I'm not a gunner, right? Like trying to get me to use guns in these games is like trying to get blood out of a stone. I'll do it occasionally, but I'm just like, I just don't want to do it. However,
it's not how I remember it, Arekkz.
Until you showed me the little light bowgun thing, but even that, it took me a while to get there. You guys had to convince me for weeks.
You can't aim. That's the problem.
I can't exactly. But you know what? They basically brought back Valor heavy bowgun. Did any of you guys use Valor in GU? I don't think you guys did too much.
I didn't use it all that much, but it's definitely something that I wanted to use because it looks so cool. Like you're just running around and then you go into like your turret mode and you just sit in there and you just can like destroy people.
Everything died. Like literally, that was like and especially in GU, you didn't have the mobility of like World or Rise. So like it was like I hated moving around a bowgun. It was literally not my thing. But I was like, everything I can just I'm gonna farm and things are dead in like 2 seconds. But yeah, so they basically brought that back because they've introduced crouching shot, which is of course similar kind of principle. You basically go into a lock stance, you can't move, but then when you're holding down fire, you progressively fire faster. It's basically like a minigun. And then, of course, your gun can overheat, but in that time, you can fire things hella quickly. It doesn't support all ammo types, but it does support quite, well, at least they seem to suggest it'll support quite a few, so that means you can then really get some meaty damage out of that. So that's going to be cool.
I think the biggest thing is that it actually, like, reduces your recoil on certain ammo types, so... Like, when you're going in, you might be able to have way more options for what you can utilize, because that is what makes, like, gunning or heavy bow guns, like, really functional, is the specific ammo types that those guns work with and, like, how they kind of synergize with everything like that. I want to see if it works with shrapnel ammo. Shrapnel ammo is definitely one that was not really... It was utilized, but not as much. There wasn't a broad selection of guns that you could use it on as much as like some of the other ammo types. I want to see some of the other ammo types really get a time to shine in the game, and hopefully this reduced recoil option gives us options on what we put on the gun and different skills and stuff like that. So that's going to be cool.
It's going to be like day one until we have like 4 speedrunners crouch shotting the final boss. Then in like 2 seconds, and like, oh no! However, they did also introduce the cool thing. So we obviously saw in the original trailer, they showed this little interesting wheel you shoot through, and we didn't know what it was. It's called Setting Sun. It's a Siltby move, and basically you fire through this, and if you have ammo types that are multi-hit, they said like, for example, piercing ammo or other multi-hit ammo, it basically boosts the number of hits upon impact. So you then combine these together, and you go into like crouching shot, fire multi-hit ammo through Setting Sun, and you've got this disgusting damage boost. So yeah, you know what I want to see with this as well? I want to see if you put down a Setting Sun, can other people fire through your Setting Sun? Or
that'll be the cheese, and you could put down 4 Setting Suns.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the ultimate shot. Like,
please. And also it's cool because they have that. I always forget the name of it, but the one where like you lie down and you take the single sniper shot. Yeah. Yes. And it fires like that multi-hit one. So obviously they showed that being used in the through Setting Sun. So like imagine like 4 Setting Suns and 4 sniper bullets, and it's just like I feel like it. Yeah, actually, I'm not sure. I was about to say I feel like they wouldn't do that, but then some Siltby moves do benefit your team, so it could happen.
I mean, every heavy bowgun is about to become just a turret, basically. It's just going to be the definition. You know that meme? Anyway, I was blasted. Like that's just every heavy bowgun now.
That is so true. That is so true. But yeah, that's going to be cool. It's going to be super cool. So they are the weapons we have seen so far. What are you guys hoping to see next?
I'm always hoping to see like a longsword, see how like more broken or like really good that's got, because just them adding switch skills in makes it way more functional, because you can go from like the Helmbreaker into the Sakura Slash. I want to see what other skill they basically added and what they've done, but I feel like the way that people talk about the longsword, it's gonna get maybe nerfed by the devs because there's too much chatter, even if people feel like it isn't overpowered or tuned because of X reasons. The way that it's just super popular and everyone's playing on it, they might want to switch it up in Sunbreak and give it like other weapons a chance to really shine. But we'll see. Actually, knowing Monster Hunter, they'll probably go the opposite route and just make it even more powerful, and it'll be like even more just.
I mean, they did release that small Twitter clip showing off like one of the sort of like combos they have for it, so it's looking pretty spicy. So yeah, it could be kind of cool.
Give it a little
What are you, Paradise?
I'm really keen to see what the insect glaive is going to get.
Oh,
because
yeah.
Base Rise, it took a little while for people to figure out, including me, how exactly some of those switch skills worked and the silk bones worked on the insect glaive. You remember the wyvern dive that actually scaled up depending on how long
damage.
How long you were in the air, and that just really made the weapon really cool for me. So if they, if they can give us some more, like, for me personally, more aerial focused things that are effective, I'll be very, very excited.
Fair enough. Yeah, definitely. And I want to see my second son, Charge Blade, see what they're doing with that. Because you know what, Charge Blade got shafted in Rise. Charge Blade was like felt a fall from grace. That weapon was not great in Rise. So I hope they fix the issues. I hope they address it, because I want to see the second Sword and Shield make a return. But yeah, that's it. So that's a little rundown on the weapons we've shown so far. If you guys have missed the individual videos, you can check those out over on the channel. And of course, don't forget to keep it locked, because as and when they do drop the other videos, we'll be going through those ones as well. So that's pretty much it. Check out some of the videos that we've uploaded recently on the channel, and catch you guys in the next one.